Where are you from?
No, I'm from Guyana. From Guyana.
That's not an island. That's Central America,
No,
right?
no, yeah, but we're part of the English-speaking Caribbean because of
I know culturally,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, culturally.
you know what I find interesting. And welcome to the Call In Family, Mark. Again, this is just me reading and studying people. So I had some work done at my place, and there's a Dominican guy and a Jamaican guy working. And then there's a guy from Nigeria, right? Doing different things. But I schedule things between the hours of 8 and 12 because those are the hours that I have free. So I have 3 different people working in my house, and I said, you know what's fascinating about this? You have a Black American, you have a person that's Black that speaks Spanish, and he looked at me. I said, yeah, you're from Dominican Republic, right? I said, yeah, that's on the island of Hispaniola. You can't go to Spain and tell them you're Spanish. They look at you and they say, no, you're Negro all day long. Now, you may have deluded yourself into believing that you're accepted as something other than Black, but take your ass to Europe, into Spain, and see what happens. And he looked at me and I said, yeah, you're from Jamaica. You're from Africa, which you speak English, which means you were colonized and dominated by the Brits, right? Yes. Everybody has their power narrative. The only power narrative that actually really exists is in Haiti. That's the only place in the entire world that has a power narrative where they actually shook off the yoke of slavery by force, because Nat Turner was not successful, by force, and ruled and controlled themselves to the point where they even offered up their services to other nations. Now, they paid dearly and are still paying dearly for that, but those people who are in the, put up air quotes, Caribbean, I just have a couple of questions, particularly countries like Jamaica. Every time I see a Miss Jamaica and she looks like Becky with the good hair, or I see one of your leaders who looks like a white man, I question, even though you're correct in your assessment that, you know, per plantation here in America, the average was 10 slaves per plantation, with the owners of the enslaved people living on the plantation with their children, and purposefully making it into a paternalistic system where you can dominate a group of people. That was done on purpose. After studying the Caribbean way of slavery, you knew that you could not have so many slaves on a plantation without having the indoctrination. But somehow that still happened. Despite them being there, you still honor whiteness. Exhibit A, Brazil has more African diasporatic people. I just made up a word, maybe, I don't know. But who cares? Bigly's a word. More people than any place outside of Africa who come from Africa. Brazil, we just saw an Olympics there. They did a beautiful opening ceremony with their great vast history, yet they've never had a Black person rule them. So you can't tell me that even though they didn't have slave masters on the plantations there, that they did not figure out how to infect your mind. To this day, Brazil does not rule itself with Black people. It's amazing, amazing. So I said to these guys, after I told the Dominican, you're just a Black person that speaks Spanish, because there were no Latinos before the 1970s. You do know that it was made up, right? Gave you opportunity to run from Blackness. I get it. And you, Jamaican, you come here, you think you're better educated, you work harder and all this, because everyone has their power narrative. It's all a lie. I said, here's the truth. In this room is power. If we only saw each other as people dropped off from the same line, different places, how much power would that be if you didn't see yourself as a Jamaican, and you didn't see yourself as a Dominican, and you didn't see yourself as a Nigerian? And I didn't just see myself as a Black person, but I saw myself as part of a global majority with the kind of power, the buying power, the brain power, the creative power to actually come together and have everything. Not disrespectful of anybody else. Just moving together. What would that look like? And they all kind of tilted their head. It's like they never considered it, because we're all so caught up in our own little power narratives that make us feel good, even though the truth is always right in front of us if we actually stick our heads up and look. Damn. And they just looked at me. I called each of them brother, gave them a tip, 866-801-8255.